Hello and welcome to part 5 of my Grombrindal Immortal Empires playthrough. And before we jump into today's episode, I actually have to rename our runesmith. Jamek finally has a name. So if we go into here, we are of course going to be renaming him Dane Ironfoot. So thank you for the name suggestion there. I really do like this one because I'm a big fan of the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings universe in general. So thank you, and do keep the name suggestions coming in. So if we take a look at the campaign here, we have Dalek, our master engineer, with a skill up. So what should we focus him into? We've got him some mobility for when he joins our army. Well, we could give him break open the casks. What's this? Replenishes ammunition. That could be very nice. Or we could buff his personal combat. I think for now, let's go here. Let's give him break open the caskets. That would be very nice indeed. And I believe Grombrindal has already used his movement this turn. In fact, he hasn't. Okay, but his army is heavily damaged. And we do have a stack of beastmen here. Are we at war with them? I don't think we are. We did declare war against the Dark Elves though, so we are planning to take them out. Of course, we did go north and wipe out these two settlements last turn. Yep, okay, I'm getting back into it. I haven't played for 4 or 5 days, and I'm currently recovering from COVID, so sorry if you can hear that come across. So, the question is, do we wish to attack this Beastmen stack? If we attack it, I think maybe it's not worth it. They're not doing anything for us right now. And I want to make sure I can attack this. So let's go ahead, check our diplomacy for the turn. Yeah, there's no one that really wants to do any diplomacy with us. So we will go ahead and end our turn. Witnessed by Valea, the filthy murder worshipping Elgi raid our lands. Stop these thin-skinned Wazoks and settle this grudge. So we have a new grudge: raid any region belonging to the following race, the Dark Elves. And if we look at our grudge severity, we're currently at 122. So we get minus 20 diplomatic relations with the dwarfs, minus 20% research rate, minus 3 control. But we do get plus 15 charge, and on start, very high chance that Slayers will be added to the Regiments of Renown pool. In fact, if we go ahead and check the Regiments of Renown pool, we do already have 5 Slayer units. Oh no, sorry, we don't. We have 4 Giant Slayer units we can recruit. But of course they are very expensive, and our economy isn't doing so well. In fact, we're doing very poor on economy here. As we look down here, the Dark Elves do have a 4 stack. Sadly, that looks like they're going to take Recto Gorge, but luckily Harkaldra is fully undefended, so let's check there. It's a very small garrison, so I think we can in fact fight it with this army here. Let's just... Can we embed? Oh, the Master Engineer is a Lord. Master Engineers are doughty warriors, and while they might be more interested in drafting plans for fortifications, they are more than capable of fighting on the front lines. Oh no, embed hero. Huh? Ah, I see. It's because we have a full army. And we do have Slayers. Wow, okay. It's been a few days since I played. Forgive me. So, we could combine 2 of our Dwarf Warrior units, maybe. So we could get this guy. We also have this hero as well, a Thane. Thanes are the most powerful fighters in the army. If we embed him, we should still be able to reach here, right?
How can I help?
Ah, the hard decisions here. I do like our Dwarf Warriors, but maybe we do merge them here. Like so. So let's get our Master Engineer into the army. And then... There we go. Now we can also get our Thane into the army. And that does help our income a bit. And we can still attack Harkaldra. I think that's how you say that. I'm going to have to look it up. So, we have Lightning Strike. I don't think that's useful in this battle. It's a decisive victory. Maybe I should manually fight this just so we take a little bit less damage though. What's the range on these guys? 125, and our crawlers have a range of 160. So we do outrange them at least, which is very nice. So let's go ahead and manually fight this one. So here we go for the Siege of Har Kaldra. As you can see, we've got 2 units here splitting off straight away, as well as our artillery just off to the side to deal with towers and enemy units. As we zoom in here, on the right flank we do have Grombrindal and now Dane Ironfoot charging into the enemy. As we get a very nice Rune of Wrath and Ruin off into this Spearman unit. And they decide to countercharge our new Slayers as they charge into battle, axes in hand. Let's see them fight a little. Of course, this is the first time we are seeing our Slayers in combat, and already the enemy spears deciding to retreat. In fact, I think that might be a sword unit. Indeed it is. There we go. Of course, Slayers moving very fast compared to normal dwarfs. Our Iron Drake's also getting some shots off. For those of you like me, you'll be very happy to know I finally turned off camera shake, because it was giving me a tad bit of motion sickness. The enemy do have some archers over here. The Slayers still chasing down the sword infantry unit, and they decide to change focus. Let's see them charge in. There we go, no fear at all. Jumping into battle, dual wielding their axes. Of course, they don't have much armor, but they can dish out a ton of damage. Very strong units indeed. Grombrindal and the Runesmith now charging down. Their archers, we might even see our Iron Drakes. There we go, we've given the command. Let's see if our Iron Drakes can get any kills off. There we go. Just absolutely melts them. As we capture the capture point on this side, let's head on over to the left flank to see how we're doing. Our new Thane, a Master Engineer engaging in battle. Slayer unit very damaged. Our Crawlers also taking a bit of damage from their range units up on the hill. But it looks like we're also winning this flank, which is very nice. Our Slayers chasing down the enemy leader and finishing them off very nicely. Our units now made the archer and sword unit in full retreat. Our Thunderers shooting them down, just making sure they definitely don't come back. And now we command all of our units to go up the hill to engage the enemies on this capture point. And as we return here, you can see the Slayers engaging the archers again with our new Thane Lord as he charges right into battle there. Look at his shield and helmet, very nice. Let's just watch them deal some damage for a short while. And I believe that is the Horn of Full Retreat there that we just heard. The Thane and Slayers making very short work of them. The Thane also with some quite fast movement speed, and there we see a decisive victory. So there we have it, a decisive victory. We did lose 97 units, our Crawler unit there especially taking a lot of damage. But as you can see, the Slayers, 223 kills, they did a lot of work in their first battle. Yeah, I was quite impressed, and of course our Iron Drake's putting in work again. But let's get straight back to the campaign map because we have some grudges to settle. So 108 gold for the treasury and 1.4k experience, which is very nice. And of course we will occupy this, although sacking it could be used for 1.6k gold and 23 oath gold. But I don't think we'll be able to reach it again this turn because we did use pretty much all of our movement to get here. So let's occupy it. There we go, very nice. And did we get any rank ups? Sadly we didn't, and our army seems to be kind of okay. So if we take a look here, Nagarond would be the next one, and if we look at their garrison, actually it's not that big. Malekith is probably here, I would imagine. It would be nice if we could actually take Nagarond. But yeah, if our grudge severity is still 122, so let's take a look at our grudges. We have win 3 battles against the Dark Elves, okay, or Nagarond especially. We also have win 5 battles against the Dark Elves, which is, of course, is also at 1. And then we also need to raid the Dark Elves. Can we raid them now? No, we don't have any movement left, sadly. Okay, maybe we will raid them on our way down to Nagarond. But I do have a feeling we will lose Rakdo Gorge to the Dark Elves here. I will warn the Beastmen to leave my territory as well. As long as we keep the Altar of Ultimate Darkness, that's the most important one. Because this does have all of our somewhat weak economy. We could have built an economy building here. That would have helped a little, actually. Oh well, that's okay. So we will go ahead and end our turn for now. Maybe next turn we can fight another Dark Elf battle and hopefully get rid of some of these grudges. Ripperhorn tribe has ignored your warning to stop trespassing upon your territory. Perhaps matters should be taken into your own hands. Maybe. And a new event, the populace in one of your settlements is gradually vanishing. On certain nights, whole ghettos or districts are left abandoned. The only clue for the remaining denizens is a triangular symbol daubed on a nearby gate or wall. -10 growth in Elder Spire. Okay. And the Dark Elves making use of their heroes here. That's something I've been saying I need to do more of. Can we recruit any heroes? Sadly not. Okay, that's fine. So what do we do here? The Dark Elves do have a small stack of units here. I think maybe I want to go here. What actually is raiding stance? So you cannot adopt this stance while garrisoned. Campaign movement range penalty 50%. Campaign movement -25%. Income generated from raiding 0 because we're in our own lands. -3 control. -5 growth. Immune to most attrition. However, we will be winded in battle. We get a diplomacy penalty with who we are raiding, and income from all buildings -100% when raiding own region. Okay, let's just leave out of here a little bit. Oh, Valkyria the bloody. Ooh, I did not want to see her. So if I move into Nagarond here. There's no Malekith. I wonder where he is. And then adopt raiding. Oh no, that's ambush. Oh, okay, we don't have enough. Wait, how much movement do I have? 19%? I thought you needed 25% to go into ambush. Huh, you do? But I can still go into ambush. Okay. Let's go back into our own territory, maybe. There we go. I think we get more replenishment. Yeah, we can't. We can't go into ambush now. Okay, so we'll just wait here. And we can hit Nagarond next turn if we wish to. Now, what do we have in Harkadra? We have a trinket maker. So that's good for our income, because that's something we are struggling with. We will very quickly just check diplomacy. We can get a non-aggression pact with Grond Dark Elves. But I don't think we are willing to ally with the Dark Elves. And they are very weak actually, so yeah, we won't be allying ourselves with the Dark Elves. We have many ancient grudges to settle, and the Dark and High Elves are arguably the top of the list there. So let's go ahead and end our turn.
Talk if you must. It won't change your fate.
So Crone Hellebron deciding to declare war on us. That's understandable. New technology. Artillery engineers soon found that the benefit of keeping certain parts modular allowed for improvements in the manufacturing process. So minus 5% upkeep for artillery units and minus 5% recruitment cost for artillery units. Again, helping our economy just that little bit more. And the Sword of Cain has been claimed by another. Doom stalks the world once more unless you can wrest it from them. And a new follower. From history to anatomy to science to nothing more than the bottom of a bottle. Plus 10% research rate. Very nice. That's actually a really useful one. And if we look in here, our Thane also gained a level up. Let's give him... I don't think we care about training. No, we will give him training. It's a tiny bit of XP, but it's better than no XP, right? And if we check Grombrindal, Grombrindal can reach Nagaron this turn. The only bad thing is... this is a little bit annoying about Warhammer 3. Many overlays. They do have a 4-stack, as well as a sizable garrison here. I think Malekith is down south somewhere. That would make sense.
The dwarfs need me.
Maybe this turn... Our army is damaged. Maybe we can get rid of the raiding grudge. So if we raid the Dark Elves...
I'll do it.
There we go, 244 gold, and that will take away at least one of our grudges just to get that severity down a little bit. And we can pick a new technology. So what should we go for here? We can get field engineers. Reload time reduction, plus 15% for artillery units. That sounds very strong. We can also get another upkeep, minus 5% for artillery units, as well as plus 10% ammunition for artillery units. Or we can get plus 10% missile strength for thunderer units. Or we can get base missile damage plus 10% for ranger units and missile strength 10% for crawlers. I think I'm going to go with one of these artillery technologies. So we can get reload time plus 15% so we shoot faster, or more upkeep and ammunition. I think we will go for the upkeep and ammunition. There we go, very nice. And of course, if we want to be a bit more tactical about sieges, that means we have more ammo now to take down towers and get rid of some enemy units before we charge into the siege. We will check diplomacy. I feel like it's worth just checking every turn. The Exiles of Nehek, we're neutral at the moment. Okay. Maybe we could get an alliance, or not an alliance, sorry, a non-aggression pact there at some point. As I don't have any problems with them right now. Really right now our biggest threats are Malekith, Crone and Valkyr. Valkyr especially, quite scary. Just over here to the east. So we will go ahead and end our turn once again. There we go, we removed the grudge. Witnessed by Valea, the filthy murder worshipping Elgi, raid our lands. Stop these thin-skinned wazooks and settle the grudge. So we get Battle Masters for 5 turn, which is plus 5 leadership for all armies, and we also got plus 30 oath gold. Very nice. And Alistar has claimed the Sword of Cain and a new follower. A dwarf bride often comes with a hefty dowry, by tradition her weight in gold, which probably explains why hot-blooded dwarfs take to curvier maids. And we get income from all buildings plus 9% in the local region. That's on Grombrindal. We do have a rank up for Grombrindal too. So it looks like we were focusing the blue tree. We've got our maximum replenishment rate as well as movement. Is there anything else we want? We've also got lightning strike, so we can get the White Dwarf's Court. Global recruitment capacity plus 1 sounds very strong. Recruitment cost minus 5% is also very strong, and recruitment rank is also very strong. Wow, that's I kind of really want everything in his blue tree, to be honest. But let's take a look up here. Turn time minus 10 between each passing of the living ancestor event. Okay. It's interesting. I don't think that's very needed though. We can get Oath Gold, Viger loss, leadership. We could go down... Oh, look at this. Campaign movement range. Plus 15%. Now that we've unlocked this tree. Maybe we can go down here. Ah, yes. Buffing Iron Drakes and War Machine units. In fact, I think we will go down the Mountain Strider. So let's get campaign movement range plus 15% and Strider. So speed and combat penalties caused by terrain are ignored by this unit. Very nice. So Grombrindal starting to become quite powerful now. The army is... it's not at full rate. It's... the city overlay. There we go. That is a 4-stack.
The goddess forbids it.
As well as the garrison. I think we could take it. We just might be left vulnerable to Valkyr. Although Valkyr has disappeared east. And the secondary army isn't very strong at all. So in fact, let's march south and take Nagarond. Let me just think about this. I think I'm sure. Before we do that, we can spend our Oath Gold though. Oh, wrong button. Let's get a character rune and see what we can get for another 50 Oath Gold. We can get the Master Rune of Flight. It's a magic missile. We can get plus 20% weapon strength. That could be very nice. Could also get melee attack plus 25. Could also get plus 50 armor. Wow. And of course speed and Strider, which Grombrindal already has. Maybe the plus 50 armor. Make him as tanky as possible. There we go. Master Rune of Gromnil. And if we open him up here, let's give him this one. So he now has 175 armor. That's just absolutely insane, to be honest. Jeez. Okay. Very nice. Let's go ahead and attack Nagarond.
Fight!
Valiant defeat. I think we should be able to turn this into a victory. Now, what would Lightning Strike do here? Lightning Strike battles will prevent reinforcements from arriving for both forces participating in the battle. However, your forces will start the battle with reduced vigor. I think because they are already inside, they don't count as reinforcements, right? I don't think there's any way to show that. But yeah, sadly, I think we're going to have to fight this one. But let's go ahead and try to siege Nagarond. So here we go with the Siege of Nagarond, and as you look around, we do see a lot of enemy units. And as always, using the miners here with their vanguard deployment and very good capability to destroy the gates, we do charge them in first to go and deal with that gate. And I believe we also have our bolt throwers just targeting these fort towers here, already dealing 2000 damage to them. The rest of our army just waiting patiently. Let's get a look at our artillery units. Very nice. Sadly, the enemy casting some magic on us, and we can also take a little look at our Slayer units here closer up. There we go. They do look badass. I do love the Dwarf army. Probably one of my favourite factions to play as we hop on over here. We have Grombrindal with our miners, also our Thane and Runesmith, all charging in to destroy the gate. And as you can see, this archer unit actually taken a bit of damage, I believe, from a rune of Wrathened Ruin from our Runesmith there. And their Dark Shard unit instantly firing into our miners, dealing a ton of damage. That's not what you want to see when you come charging through a gate. Is a unit of Dark Shards. As you can see, the miners choosing to retreat there. As our Thane leads the charge, Grombrindal and Runesmith right behind. but their archers do decide to retreat, or their dark shards, sorry. And just looking around, there are a ton of Dark Elf units. The balance of power at the top really not in our favour. But now we begin calling in the rest of our army, our dwarf warriors, our hammerers, our master engineer. Also we've got a thunderer unit, 2 crawlers, and our iron drakes, of course. Our trusty iron drakes, always dealing a ton of damage, as our runesmith throws down a melee defense rune just to help us out over here. The dark shards choosing to retreat once again. Behind us, the enemy hero as well as a melee specialist lord coming in. Grombrindal and the runesmith decide to shift their focus to the enemy lord. If we can take her down, maybe that will help give a leadership debuff, maybe shift the balance of power a little. But there are a ton of Dark Elf units, as you can see. So let's go in and watch this battle here. Her dark shards dealing loads of damage to herself. Grombrindal sends her absolutely flying. And she decides to run away, which is probably a smart thing to do. And I believe that is the enemy lord dead. It is in fact. So now we should be getting that nice melee leadership debuff to the enemy. And our infantry units coming in. Another rune of Wrath and Ruin firing off into their sword unit. But just look at the missiles they have, just raining in on Grombrindal, already taking a ton of damage actually. Of course we don't have a potion of healing or anything, so any damage he does receive is permanent. As we try and take out the melee specialist. Let's get a closer look at our dwarf warriors, as well as some hammerers there. Fighting their sword unit as the enemy casting a spell on us. Iron Drake's also getting off some shots. My FPS struggling a little there. Yeah, this is a very tough battle. A lot of enemy units, sadly. Just really outnumbered several times. So you can see our Thane trying just to distract a few units and take aggro here of a spear and 2 sword units. And if we go up to here, we have our crawler units as well as our master engineer up on the wall, just so they can get a bit of a better vantage point really. They can more easily shoot into the enemy. If we look out here, our gyrocopters waiting for an order. We also have our artillery still fighting off into the siege. And it looks like our runesmith and iron drakes have actually chosen to retreat, taking a ton of damage. Our runesmith should still be able to support us with magic, or runes, sorry, from the magic. Ooh, that's going in the book. And we also decide to retreat our infantry units, just taking too much damage from missile fire really. I was hoping that maybe we could use this time, just take aggro with our Thane Lord here, and just try and out-damage them with our artillery and missile units, but that's going to be a very hard order, as we see another rune of Wrath and Ruin there. But yeah, they just outnumber us incredibly in terms of missile power and ammunition, so if we can pull this off, it's going to be a bit of a miracle. As you can see, our gyrocopters coming in to help a little bit, just getting absolutely shot down, and they do decide to retreat now after losing a unit. Grombrindal over here also very weak, and in fact Grombrindal and the Thane do decide to try and retreat now, but just look at the sheer number of missiles coming in from the enemy. Maybe Grombrindal should have been a tad more patient, making use of his artillery to weaken the enemy more, and Grombrindal actually goes down. That's, yeah, very damaging for our morale. The legendary White Dwarf has fallen in battle. We still got our crawler units here, our Master Engineer every now and then replenishing their ammo and buffing their attack power, or missile damage, sorry. But as you can see, if we look at just how many enemies exist, it's not looking promising for us. The balance of power also shifting slightly more into their favour. As we throw a melee defense buff here, just so we can deal with the enemy Dark Elves deciding to come out and meet us. But the Iron Drakes, dealing with them. I believe they're going to leave the battle, and they are in fact retreating. So looking at the battle now, it really does not look promising. We've lost our Lord. We essentially have one missile unit if we combine their health pool. We are still dealing damage to the enemy, but yeah, just look at the amount of missiles they have compared to us. And they also outspeed us, so it's kind of pointless trying to run them down. We still do have artillery here shooting into the settlement, but I just think it's a question of when, not if, we retreat now. So fast forwarding a little, looks like we're going to be dealing with another spear unit to the right there, which does decide to retreat. We still have our grudge throwers firing in, trying to deal with some of their units here, which also look to be retreating. Of course, these hybrid units here, the Shades, also very strong. Does look like we're able to deal some damage to them. And one of our units there running out of ammunition in the background. That's our artillery, so a large part of our firepower there. Our Iron Drakes taking shots from these dark shards. Another Rune of Wrath and Ruin there. Firing off as we see a crawler unit out of ammo decides to come off of the walls to assist our Master Engineer, who actually just replenished some of their ammo. But I just think they're way too outnumbered now. They're not going to be able to escape. You really wonder how long it is before the mighty leadership of the dwarfs finally wavers and they admit defeat and retreat. Sometimes it's better to retreat and live to fight another day than to die going all out in a battle, but they decide to charge in. As we get a look here, we're gonna see Slayers charging head on into a spear unit, as well as our dwarf warriors in the background, some hammerers as well. A good mixture of all of our infantry units. Really one last push for the dwarven army. And they are dealing with this infantry unit quite well. It's just the sheer volume of enemy missiles coming in that's really the problem. We can very easily deal with their infantry, but their ranged units just too much for us. As we look at the health pools, yeah, just absolutely destroying this spear unit here. Our Thane also joining the battle, not accepting defeat too lightly here. And the spearmen do in fact decide to retreat. And it looks like that is the horn of retreat for the dwarves. They did one last final effort, but they realize really it's not enough. And if we turn on the UI and look at the remaining enemy, yeah, I think it's a wise decision to come back and fight another day. There's a way too many units there. So we look here, looks like the dwarven army is in full retreat. Our Master Engineer deciding to sacrifice himself so the rest of the army can retreat and come back and fight another day. as we watch his last stand here. And our master engineer did in fact die, and that is a draw, although really that is a defeat for Grombrindal's army. So sadly we, yeah, it ended in a draw. We weren't able to just do enough damage there. I think I managed it very poorly. We got a lot of kills. We killed 1,100 of them, but we did lose 600 of our own. Maybe we should have been a bit more patient, make more use of our artillery, but we will rebuild our army, become a little bit stronger, and we will definitely take Nagarond the next time we attempt to siege it. So there we have it. They still have 1,700 units remaining. Sadly, their army garrisoned there. Although we did kill their lord, they do still have a sizable force, so they might well chase us. And we do need a new lord, so let's see who we have available. We have Cobalt Oathkeeper, gains plus 5% research rate and minus 50% construction cost for all buildings. Or we can have a Rune Lord with Tactician, characters aura leadership aura effect plus 4 and aura size plus 25%. Another normal lord, ancestral blood, melee attack, melee defense and physical resistance. A Rune Lord, again leadership, and Grombrindal sadly is going to be out for 5 turns. So I think we go for a Rune Lord. So we got leadership plus 10 and leadership plus 2 for all units. Or Tactician. Or maybe we just want someone who can tank. This will be the lord of our second army, so maybe we just get a regular lord. I liked the melee attack, melee defense and physical resistance here. So let's go with this guy. And oh boy. This overlay is kind of annoying. They need to fix that. Yeah, they have a very sizable army. Even if we force march out of here, it's not going to be enough. We going to break the siege.
Let us be about this.
Yeah, that's not going to do much. Even with forced march, we don't actually gain any extra movement. Oh boy, that's scary. That is a scary defeat right there. There we go. As the map's rotated, that's why I'm a bit lost. Okay, there we go. And we don't really have that good of an economy, so we can't really afford to recruit a second army here. We really need to hope that these are able to retreat, and somehow we did lose a bolt thrower unit. But that's all I have time for today, guys. It's actually turned out to be quite a long video, at least recording wise. Again, thank you as always for watching. Sorry if it's a bit low energy. I am recovering from COVID for the 3rd time. But yeah, also something new. It's definitely not a necessity, but I do have a Patreon now, which you can find in the description. But other than that, I will be back tomorrow with a Luther Harkon episode, and then the day after we will come back to Nagarond and take it from the Dark Elves. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. See you tomorrow.